All right, what is going on? Welcome to this next video on the business channel. This video is probably going to be called the difference between your sales manager and someone like me, okay? Which sounds very arrogant, but unfortunately, I guess in the whole social media world, the only way is to kind of be a little bit out there or whatever. So I made a video, I believe it was the first one, where I talk about the misconception of needing a sales manager. And a lot of people pull the trigger on it too early. They bring in someone, they're just going to manage the norm, the status quo. Now I'm going to go through a little bit more of a scenario, which I see very commonly, where you already have a sales manager, right? Or you've even been looking at one, and I just want to outline the differences between a typical sales manager and someone that will actually come in and scale your offer, whether that is someone is me or whether that is someone else that actually knows what the fuck they're doing, okay? Obviously, we're going to do the iPad. Let's dive on in. Okay, so the difference between your sales manager and someone like me. Now, what is the role of your sales manager? This right here. Make the business more money, give the founder back time. That's it. Yes, there are intricacies of like, well, they're going to hire, they're going to train, blah, blah, blah. But at a core level, all they need to be doing is making the business a fuck ton more money and giving the founder back time, which often isn't even the case, okay? Now, there are a lot of managers, in quotes, who can help you get a few more sales. They might hire some, average reps, okay? And this, again, is like, because they're not a leader, people don't want to follow them. And I'm very conscious of, like, I still coach so that I can basically build a talent pool of closers who not only I can know and trust, but they have been directly taught by me already, okay? And that is really how you do leverage, right? I'm already a very busy guy. Do I have the time to be spending on a ton of coaching calls? Not necessarily, but in the long-term ROI, is it much more beneficial for me to allocate that time still? Yes, okay? And people want to naturally follow me as a result, okay? So they might have, more activity. They might have some great ideas to change on the offer. But if that increase or all of these increases requires more of you as the offer owner to support it, it isn't actual scale. Okay, it is all still built around you being so present for it to even be there in the first place, right? And this is a very common scenario. And that is really the first thing that you want to think about, okay? This is kind of point one before we dive more specifically into the sales manager qualities. But is your sales manager actually making your life easier, or is it just an illusion? Because it's very easy to think, well, I've got a sales manager, so great. But are they actually making your life a ton more difficult? Because it's very common, okay? A real operator, as in someone that is going to war, someone that is building your offer military style, they're building leverage, not just adding more bullshit to the pile, okay? They're not just adding more noise. So you should be seeing your revenue grow, but your hours and mental bandwidth should be decreasing. That's really the goal for you as a founder when you start to bring on talent to handle certain extra things, okay? Now, this is the issue. You basically have a sales manager who is just managing, right? Now we'll go into the actual activities of a strong sales manager compared to just a schmuck one, okay? So this is the biggest thing initially. Well, my sales manager is super busy. That's always a bad thing, right? Most of the time, especially if they're only managing your offer, okay? Because there is a huge, huge fucking difference between someone who is strategic and they're building a system that makes it just rain, right? They are printing money, compared to someone who is staying busy doing all the things that make them look and feel productive. And this is the biggest one, the feel productive, is because they don't even realize they're not being productive. They've got a stacked calendar, they're doing a bunch of bullshit, all of these low-level tasks, so they actually feel like they're doing a good job, okay? And you might also be under that illusion, like, well, they're doing a lot, but are they actually changing a lot? Are they actually getting the core of your business so dialed in that it is just printing money? Do they have a totally polished client acquisition machine, right? And that is why every day in their calendar is full, but the actual pipeline of deals isn't, all right? Their goal is to make money, scale your business, and give you more time, okay? Anything that's not giving you those things, what is the point? Now, how do you think that I personally am running 4 sales teams single-handedly right now? And I'll be honest, I still could have more bandwidth to take on multiple more teams. It is definitely not through low leverage bullshit and just trying to stay busy. Every hour for me is actually key and vital, okay? And it is through making smart, strategic decisions that have a butterfly effect, okay? And ensuring that none of my time is on low leverage tasks, okay? I'm also just a workhorse. Anyone that's ever had me as a sales manager will know that. because it is 8 p.m. right now. I'm building out a training, right? I don't stop working non-stop, okay? But you probably don't have that level of dog inside of your sales manager, unfortunately, okay? And it's again because they don't really care. They don't even view the opportunity cost. How much money are they losing the business by not being a dog? Just buckle in, commit to a season, and be a dog, okay? So if you have seen this, congratulations, you might be running a good business. If you haven't seen this, then there's a good chance you might not be. Okay, this is the impact to effort kind of ratio graph thing or whatever, okay? So you've got to be weighing up any strategic decisions you make in a business using this, right? Is it something that is basically where the X is low effort, high impact? Amazing. We should absolutely be knocking those things out as much as humanly possible. For example, though, if it's maximum effort, low impact here, it shouldn't even be fucking happening, right? Or it should be outsourced, potentially, if it is still something that's vital, but it's massive effort and has a low impact. Most things that are low impact are more nice to haves and really aren't essential, okay? But obviously something up here, a lot of the time, it is necessary, but we've got to be allocating it in the right way. And again, we might be looking to outsource certain things. We might be trying to create an order of priority to when we hit it. We should be constantly trying to focus on what are the big domino effects that I can have. What's the big lever that I can pull that's going to create the biggest quantum shift on the offer right now, right? And it's prioritizing those things specifically, okay? So you want to have someone that is looking at it through the lens of this, because this is vital. And when you start actually planning your business just around this such a simple mechanism, a lot of things will change, okay? So the first thing is they've got an addiction towards tactics, right? They're endlessly drilling call reviews, role plays, closes, objection handles, rebuttals, right? All of this shit. Every team meeting is this. If every team meeting for you right now is this type of shit, you have a terrible sales manager, okay? I'm just telling you how it is. And then, to be honest, most people are just doing this shit. Hey guys, well, yeah, I guess I don't really have anything too tactical to hit today, so yeah, let's do some objection handling. Yeah, I want to think about it. Oh, well, what specifically do you want to think about? If you had a bag of money, would you do it? It's a fuck, man. Oh my God, right? All tactics, no elevation. If the rep's mindset or energy is off, the tactic you're taking them through won't even land anyway. And we focus so much on all of these tactics, and then if you go and watch one of your closers in the heat of the moment, they shit the bed because it is less about the tactics, it's more about them as an individual. Okay, and that's why we need a strong balance between training them into a better rep, training them into a better human, getting them aligned to their own personal goals and missions and who they want to become. There's so much more to it. Alongside a culture, right? A feeling of potential, of fulfillment. There's so many areas towards what you can truly do on a team meeting that is just ignored, okay? If they are not aligned to something greater than just closing deals, you're fucked. Every team meeting is the same shit. We're basically just pushing bullshit around the room for 30 minutes to an hour, often 5 times a week, which is crazy, okay? Number 2, doing 101 tasks that don't print money. Tweaking the CRM, making some new kind of documents, updating some random templates that never get used anyway. It, again, is the trap that we mentioned earlier, feeling productive, but there is no leverage that's being created from it. And their to-do list is long, but the pipeline is non-existent, right? And they've got no structure towards this. So like, do we have hot lists? Is the sales manager going in and contacting people on those hot lists? Because what is your goal? Make some fucking money, free up the time, okay? So if you're looking at a hot list or you do a call review and you're like, there were some areas that closer missed. Bing, hey, how you doing, John? Yeah, my name's Scott. I'm actually the sales director here over with blah, 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 blah. I do some quality control on calls sometimes, and I actually went through your call. It was super, super interesting, and I feel like you had a great conversation. Hopefully you're still, potentially looking into what we do here. I really feel like there was a couple things that were missed, which I think would be crucial towards your success, whether or not you work with us. Are you cool if I kind of share those with you? Boom. Fucking time to make some money, okay? And that's really my point. Are you actually an operator? Are you actually someone that is strategic? Or are you just a guy that is just running some random team meetings, okay? They are doing small shit that makes no difference right now. Fine tweaking is obviously fine when the key components are actually pumping at full force, right? And then when they are needed by sales reps, they can't even deal with those things properly because they're just stuck on meetings looking busy all day. So they'll actually get a message, hey, I'm on a call right now, got this thing, what can I do? Replies 4 hours later. Congratulations, you just fucked that deal. And then you'll go through and you'll review it and you'll be like, what happened here? You should have done this, you should have done that. You should have been a little bit more available. And I'm not saying there's a fine balance. I don't babysit any reps on my team. Right? So it's not like I get a message and like, hey, can you help me with that? Like, no, I'm not babysitting. But like if someone messaged me and said, hey, this guy's right on the line, I'm trying so hard to objection handle him. Are you free right now? If there's nothing on my calendar, which I try to keep my calendar as free as possible, despite having 4 teams, right? Which is my point. If you've got a singular sales manager who's got a full calendar, that's wild. But if I can, I'll jump on that meeting. Fresh perspective, area of authority. I'm going to come in and I'm going to show them how it's done. Lead by example, okay? And I've done that. I've done that on Iman's team, right? I've got stories of doing that where it's like a triage call and I'll come in and I've closed the deal. And actually was some of my best closers doing that, okay? So this is the biggest trap. People that are just looking busy all day. And then if you take a look at this, this is 5 levels of mental toughness, okay? Rate where your sales manager is at, right? You've got playing not to lose. Oh, I better perform or I'll be in trouble, right? Or as long as I continue to perform, I can cruise. This is often the area where most sales managers are, unfortunately. And then you start to go a little bit further up. Maybe I can accomplish more than I thought. Maybe I'm better than I think I am. And they start to actually see the potential of their role. Okay, I think I can be the best. And then this is where you want a true elite manager, okay? This is where you really want a strong operator. And this is why I come in and I do the fractional sales management, because you'll actually find a lot of the time the best sales managers, they've got a great skill. They probably don't want to just be locked into one team unless you are willing to pay that person like a machine, right? Unless you're like, hey, I know that you're one of the best sales managers in the industry. I'm going to pay you like fucking no one else. Then maybe, fair enough. But like someone that has that level of skills, they've got a very scalable skill set. It kind of makes the most sense for them to be managing multiple teams at once because they're able to do so. And that's the biggest trap we fall into. We want someone that's so committed just to us, but you actually get really subpar results as a result of it, okay? Now, I would weigh up my sales manager on this. This is such a good map to go through and really evaluate yourself, evaluate sales reps, evaluate sales managers, everything, okay? Now, number 3 is damage control. Every single day is just a mess, right? They're always reacting to some kind of emergency. They have no awareness, like no pattern recognition, like, these things keep going wrong, right? Maybe I should fix it at the root. Okay, that is not solving problems. That is just continuing to run laps inside of the problems. We're not solving anything, okay? These are all things that actually drive revenue, culture, and leverage. We'll break these down in just a second down here. Now, I want to be clear with all these different things right here. These are the typical things that I see that is creating a sales manager that really isn't going to scale your offer. And I've said this before, our goal should be like this, right? Like a very large increase steadily in revenue. Most offers are either this, right? Or they might be like kind of like that, right? Because you've just got someone that's kind of like keeping things ticking along. And maybe you're just getting better as a brand owner and you're kind of getting more awareness and your organic is growing or whatever, right? You're investing more in paid ads. So like the offer would scale with or without them, okay? So let's go into what we actually want to be implementing that's going to drive revenue, culture, and leverage, right? Daily intention setting is the first thing. The tone of the day stems from you and you alone. Are you consistent? Are you showing up correctly? Are you being a vessel of energy transference for the team so that they can execute like a pack of fucking dogs? Okay, let's pull out the highlighter, change things up a little bit. Every single time you ask a sales rep why they felt like that call was bad. So you see on the tracker, I hope to God you're tracking them accurately with call recordings in the tracker, with notes on how they felt on that call, all of these things. But if you then said, okay, cool, I looked for your notes and you mentioned that this call felt really rough. Why so? They're going to say, oh, well, I was just having one of those days or blah, blah. It's always mindset related every fucking time, okay? And it's because you aren't able to cultivate the right environment and the right feeling within them, right? And again, it comes back to the trainings that we're doing, okay? It's always going to be mindset related. I felt tired. That prospect intimidated me, right? They've got that backwards mentality of like the prospect is the prize. We are absolutely the prize. They came to our call. We're the ones that's got something to sell them that can transform their situation. As a result, we're curious. we understand them, but we're going to hold them accountable because we're the ones that need to be holding them to a higher version of themselves, okay? Right? Oh, yeah, the last call that I took was bad and it was on my mind, right? But then your team trainings just consist of some shit objection handling, except you have a weak team and you're teaching them some back and forth objection rebuttals in a safe environment on a team meeting. That is not going to increase the number of deals that you get, Mr. Manager, right? I will also do things like Scott's morning manifestation in the Slack channel, okay, where I'll take the time, I'll record through it, I set a daily intention in the day. It's like manifestation based, right? It's like, it's fun, it's creative, it grounds everyone. It kind of helps them tap into something greater than just sales, okay? And we set the tone for the day. We guide the team to something greater than just sales, right? Like I said. Now, we can also share client wins. This is something that seems so basic. Oh, yeah, Scott, of course you can share client wins. Okay, how often are you doing it consistently? Most teams, it's not, okay? Most teams I take over just occasionally do this once or twice a month when they kind of suddenly remember, maybe it's good for the team to see this, rather than a systematic approach towards this. We want a team that is almost indoctrinated with belief in your product. That alone will increase your close rate exponentially, okay? Actually just being intentional with things that you share. It's how we create a subtle, consistent, subconscious change in people's behaviors. That was kind of that was a mouthful to say, right? But realize that everything you say, everything you post, everything you share, all of these different things, they directly, at a subconscious level, of course consciously as well, but very much at a subconscious level, that will affect the change in people's behaviors, okay? When you see a team that is just so locked in, it's because in some degree, there has been so much subconscious indoctrination that they are just like, I'm going to war for you, okay? And that is really the key. Like, why would we not want that? We want people who, it's like, indoctrination is a weird term because you might think, like, you might almost class that as a negative one, but it's a great one. Right? It's like if they're so bought into you as an offer owner, they're so bought into themselves, they're so bought into the vehicle, they're closing at a high rate, they're making a fuck ton of money, they're making prospects make more money, the offer's scaling, like it's a win-win for everyone, right? Whereas you've seen other teams probably, or maybe it's even your own team, where the culture is just so barren, right? That's the opposite of indoctrination. That is like they're into depression instead, okay? Now, number 2 is the butterfly effect. We briefly mentioned that, but every week, there is one thing that is costing you more than basically everything else, right? And that's got to be what we address and fix, right? Whether it's a bad pitch, whether it's the wrong hires, broken incentives, one poisonous team member, unoptimized setting processes, onboarding flows, tracking, whatever it is, identify the real bottleneck. Don't fix 10 things halfway. Fix one thing completely and everything else shifts, okay? And I say this all the time, right? If I implement a real banger of a pitch, the close rate massively jumps up. If I get rid of the wrong hires and replace them with good hires, the close rate massively jumps up, right? If we get rid of that one poisonous fucker who's been on the team for 2 years, hates his life, but still here for some reason, the close rate jumps up, okay? And you gotta really identify what's actually holding this vehicle back right now, because every single day is opportunity cost that you're not acting on, okay? Ask yourself every day, if I only fixed one thing this week, what would actually make the biggest revenue difference? Okay, number 3, daily communication. You need to be present. If you're too distant, the culture breaks and then the momentum dies, right? You should have your finger on the pulse, okay? You should have emotional awareness and a strategic read on your team. This is stuff people don't even think about. Are you emotionally aware of your team right now? Is someone in a rut? I've banned that word from any sales teams that I'm on because I don't believe in it, but is someone in a rut right now? Are you even aware that they're in a rut? Or is it a case where 2 weeks later you look at their sales tracker, you're like, fuck, they've done terribly. I should probably go check in with them. Are you in tune with your sales reps or not, right? Don't take 2 days to reply, fix things in the moment. The golden rule is a same day response at least under 4 hours, okay? Again, I'm the type of person, I'm pretty readily available. Sometimes people will message me and it's with something not that important. That is a person I won't reply to immediately. But when someone says, hey, Scott, I really need this right now, right? We had an issue on Saturday night. It was like 10 p.m. Close got done. Onboarding didn't happen, automatically. You think I'm going to ignore it? Oh, 10 p.m. on a Saturday? Oh, no, I'm just going to do fuck all instead. No, I'm going to go and fix the issue. I'm calling people. I'm getting it all sorted. Boom, they're in. They're good to go. Done. Dusted. Right? What is the point in creating resistance because you're lazy or whatever it might be, okay? Leadership impact, right? How you show up is how your team shows up, which is why I'm always working more than my team. I'm doing call reviews all the time. I'm working on Saturdays. I'm working on Sundays as well, to be honest. I'm doing whatever it takes, okay? I'm always going to lead from the front. Just like I said, I will go up, I will call a prospect who I feel like could have closed but didn't close. Am I going to take the commission myself? No. I'm going to be like, hey, how you doing? Whatever their name is, like the closer. Hey, closer, how you doing? I actually took it upon myself just to contact that lead, and I kind of pushed them across the line. Enjoy the commissions. Think that person's going to be trusting me? Probably pretty heavily, okay? Be proactive, be available, be focused, right? I'm going very in-depth on this video. This is definitely the most in-depth video towards my process, my beliefs, and how I would run a team, okay? So if you are a business owner, I'm going to do a mid-pitch. I've never done that before. If you are a business owner and you want to explore what it could look like for me to actually strategically, violently scale the fuck out of your offer in terms of the architecture, the implementation, get you to a point where maybe you can have some random sales manager who will just manage it, go for it, hit me up. We can talk, okay? Now, core review, non-negotiable, okay? This is a non-negotiable. Needs to happen every day. Otherwise, the same mistake gets repeated for a week. For me, I don't waste core review time on a team meeting. I do it in my own time. I record it. I go very in depth, put on headphones. I'm listening to all the minute little details. I'm paying attention to their body language. Are they holding their neck? Are they nervous? Are they sub-communicating these types of things? Is there areas where they're stuttering too much? Is their frame really weak? How did we show up? Is the prospect rationalizing? Did we need to break that rationalization? What was a piece of information that just went completely over your head that would have been the key to the sale? I am identifying everything. I want that core review to be so impactful in that sales rep's career that one review will massively jump things for them. Now, obviously, I'm doing a core review every single day, at least one, because I'm running multiple teams and I'm doing, multiple reps on each one of those teams. But the issue you have is if you don't do this, the same mistake is going to get repeated for a week, right? It's like I'm trying to review every single rep's calls at least a few times a week, couple times a week minimum across all of my teams. That's a lot of fucking core reviews, okay? And that is how you sharpen messaging, you tighten the delivery, and you spot the breakdowns before they actually cost you and the offer owner a shit ton of money, okay? Reviewing just 1 to 2 key calls per day can change how a rep performs all week. Nothing will improve performance faster. Now, let's do a little bit of maths. Let's say your sales manager is earning $15K a month and they are still spending hours doing admin tasks. They are dragging your offer potential down. Right? What they're still doing, and I could make a huge list, but I just given a general few. Manually tracking the show rate, updating pipeline spreadsheets, building reports, logging some rep kind of stats by hand. They're chasing sales reps for the call notes, right? You can go on and on and on. Just such low leverage, like kind of data fueled tasks, a bunch of bullshit, okay? All of it is just $5 an hour work, realistically, right? You can hire a VA to fill in those things. Your goal should be as an executor. You've got the data. What are you going to do with that data? What are you going to change? What are you going to address? Okay. You've got a massive finger on the pulse. Your role isn't necessarily filling in all of the data yourself. Okay. Maybe when you first take over the team, it's good for you to get used to the systems and implement it and get a really strong sense check. After that, get out of filling in the data yourself. Okay. Most sales managers don't think like that. They are trading their highest value time, right, for tasks that should have been handed off months ago, right? If we look at the maths, it doesn't lie, right? 15K a month manager, 180K a year. If they're spending just 2 hours a day on admin, that's 40 to 50 hours a month. That time could be used to review and fix the actual rep leaks, install a better show-up process, build performance systems. It's going to improve revenue. All of these things. Do core reviews, hire, train, fire, whatever, okay? Tap into a coaching community and start poaching some sales reps that actually have talent, whatever, man. You can get so creative with the leverage of time that you would have, okay? That 1K a month that they didn't spend on a VA is now costing the business 50 to 100K in lost growth potential on their revenue. I guarantee it. Okay. And they are also losing money personally, which is where it then becomes even more ridiculous, right? Because as a manager, they're probably getting a percentage. So if the business adds 100K a month, they should be pocketing, another few grand, 3, 5, 7 grand. All because they stopped clinging towards this shitty busy work. And that 1K, a virtual assistant, could have made them like 7K more on their own income every single month. So how do you expect someone that doesn't have enough brain power to fix this within their own income to come in and coach your sales reps on how to be making more money every single month in terms of creating leverage. Because as a closer, you should also be taking ownership of your own income, and you should also be creating leverage to increase your income as well. So if the sales manager isn't doing it, that means the closer also isn't doing it, which means as a general rule of thumb, your offer potential is so much lower than it could be, okay? This is why it doesn't happen. Most sales managers don't think like owners. My philosophy is always be the CEO of your own role. I've mentioned this before. So it blows my mind that sales managers don't think about this, but closers should absolutely be thinking like this as well. They think that staying busy equals being valuable, right? That comes from a place of neediness, but that's a different ballpark. They don't calculate opportunity cost, which again, very alarming for someone that's teaching people how to do sales. Everything in life is opportunity cost, so you should be constantly weighing it up. And then they protect tasks they're comfortable with instead of taking ownership of the bigger picture. I don't have a water next to me right now, and I'm going on a heavy rant, okay? If they're not willing to delegate admin for 1K, they are not ready to scale a team that is worth $1 million a month, right? They are protecting control instead of creating growth, and that mindset bleeds into everything they touch, okay? Lead by example. This is why it's so important you get the right person leading your teams, because they are the North Star. They are the person that will inspire the sales reps. They are the person that will grow your team. They are the person that everyone will come to. But if you've got the wrong person, all of those things are inverted. Everything is like, well, I hate my sales manager. He's so bad at sales. He shouldn't even have the role. He's so lazy. He's this, he's that. And then what do you think happens to the closer's performance? It drops violently, okay? So this was a pretty in-depth video. I really banged through this as well at quite a fast exponential rate. Hopefully you got some value from this and can start to see how a true sales manager would actually want to work. Like I said before, if you want to inquire about working with me and having me fractionally manage your team, feel free to do that down below right here. I appreciate everyone for supporting, and I will catch you very soon.